So, first of all, congratulations, Stephen, and every good wish for a great 2 years as President of the Irish Hotels Federation. A great honour to you. Of course, over the next couple of years, you'll become the best known face of the Irish hotel industry. But for those who don't know you, let's talk about yourself for a start. You've had a stellar career to date and are presently Deputy CX of the Delata Hotel Group. So, tell us a little bit about your earlier career and what you're up to these days.
Thank you, Eamon, for your kind words. I started out and graduated from Rockwell Hotel and Catering School, and I've over 30 years experience in the hotel and catering industry. I would have spent 7 years with the Ramada Hotel Group over in the UK and in Germany, and then following that I joined Jury's Doyle Hotel Group here in Ireland, and I spent 17 years with them in Ireland and the UK and looked after some of the US hotels as well. And then I joined Delata in 2007. I'm 7 years there as Deputy Chief Executive. We look after 34 hotels in Delata, and those 34 hotels are spread over 14 counties all over Ireland, as well as the UK in Belfast and Cardiff.
Fantastic. So now, down to the business of the present. Tourism is clearly in recovery mode with all the good results of last year, looking as if they will be matched, perhaps even beaten this year. But it's not all roses in the garden for many hotels yet, is it, Stephen?
No, that's correct, Eamon. I mean, it's fair to say that we've seen great levels of improvement in Dublin particularly. Cork and Galway have also improved, not dramatically, but have improved. And then around the country, it's still very, very difficult. And for our members around the Hotels Federation, we found it very difficult for the past few years. So we're still growing a little bit there. We have problems with bank distress, as you know. We have lots of problems still with the local authority rates. And I guess visitor numbers, while they've come into the cities, they haven't got out of the regions yet.
Yeah. Currently, Stephen, Minister for Adra and his officials are examining 174 submissions that they received for the Tourism Policy Review. A lot of reading there. And we expect that to be published later this year. Any advice you have for the Minister, and what are the principal issues you hope the policy document will address?
Well, to be fair, I don't envy him having to look at 174 different documents. But I suppose when I look at, if I was talking to the Minister tomorrow, and I will be talking to the Minister, I'd be saying to him, I suppose the key headline is jobs. So if we get the jobs going in the country, it needs a certain amount of things to happen for jobs to happen. And the first thing, I suppose, is competitiveness. And when I look at the way we do business in Ireland, it's really important that we remain competitive. You know, it's great to see recent surveys coming in from Fáilte Ireland saying that our visitors, our customers, are happy for the first time in 10 years about the levels of charge that we're putting on them. So from that point of view, we're not seen now as an expensive destination any longer. I think we've learned a harsh lesson on this, and we've something we have to push along. I suppose being competitive as well just also means that we've put a great VAT rate in now that really has encouraged people, and that helps, you know, to make sure pricing stays where it should. We, the hotels, have responded to that, and it's important that, I suppose, for the foreseeable future, that we just need a longer term guarantee on the VAT. And I'd be saying for the next 5 years, if we had some sort of guarantee that the VAT would remain in place at the current levels, I think we've a tremendous opportunity.
Sure. Now, you mentioned earlier that, of course, your hotels are spread all over the country, and they're not all in Dublin, which is doing very well, of course. But I suppose properties down the country haven't seen the strength of this recovery that's apparent on the East Coast. What have you to say to them? I mean, surely there is a lot of hope and some good things happening for the West also.
No, I think, Eamon, in fairness, when you look at what's happened, the country has experienced almost, it's exploded in the last few years, and what we've experienced has not been experienced in this country before. So we've all are trying to recover there. So we have a number of issues still to address right around the country, and even the hotels we have in our locations, we see that very clearly. And I suppose the first one is the bank indebtedness and the bank distress. So that has to be dealt with, and probably a lot more speedy than it is at the moment. I think when that happens, it will make a great deal of difference. I think the second thing is local authority rates. We've experienced some decrease in the Dublin, for example, and in Limerick, but there's lots of other parts of the country haven't been dealt with yet. They've experienced great discounts, if you like, on the rates, and that's still a burden, if you like, for hoteliers around the country. I think the other thing then is that there's been a lot of change in the country, and we have a different type of hotelier operating now. So we have a lot of work to do there in terms of bringing them on board and ensuring that they get the assistance they need in order to progress forwards. But I think ultimately, if the economy is healthy, the country will be healthy. We mustn't forget that 7 out of 10 bed nights around the country come from the island of Ireland.
Yeah.
So that's telling us very clearly, if the economy is in a good state, so will the hotels around the country.
Sure.
So that comes back to really being competitive.
Yeah.
That's the message. You know.
And I suppose being imaginative too about how the product is presented is important. Like the Wild Atlantic Way is an example.
Fantastic. Yeah, I mean that this is our greatest opportunity now. We've just had the gathering, a tremendous success. Everybody bought in, the Irish people bought in, and we've great people. We've great hoteliers, we've great people around the country. So we've now 2,500 kilometres designated from the top of Donegal right down to Cork. So that will help all of that side of the country if you want to look at it in two parts. And from that point of view, it gives the whole of Ireland a drive, and we can go out and sell something that has substance, something that we can sell for a number of years. So it won't be like the gathering where it's short, but it's something that will offer us something to sell over the longer term. And it's up to us now to make sure, and we'll certainly be getting behind in the Federation to ensure that we deliver on that.
Super. And finally, Stephen, 2 years from now, I know you've only just taken over the job literally yesterday, but 2 years from now, what are the sort of things you'd like to think you've achieved in your term as President of the Hotels Federation?
Well, there are a number of things, I suppose, and I guess there's a long list of things we have to make sure happen. But as a priority, I'll still go back to that competitiveness thing. So we as an industry must ensure that we're heard at the top table and that the government understand exactly what's required in order to deliver growth. Remember, we've delivered 15,000 jobs since 2011. So we have now proof that we can deliver. So the government now understand we can deliver. So from that point of view, what we've got to ensure is the government understand what it takes to deliver that. I would be concerned that maybe new legislation comes in, and I call them roadblocks. And when new legislation comes in, generally what it does is it stymies growth, or it makes people deflect their energies towards a negative thing rather than a positive thing. So the last few years we've been struggling with sales and getting the sales moving, and to be fair, with the VAT decrease was huge help to everybody. So I would say from a competitor's point of view, that's the one thing it's on my watch. I've got to do as much as I possibly can for our industry to ensure that we don't drift back into this high cost economy and that we don't suddenly become competitive again.
Well, of course, that's a key point, Stephen, isn't it? That, I mean, the hotel sector, or tourism for that matter, can't be competitive by itself if the economy in which you're operating doesn't remain competitive.
Exactly.
You're lost. So I suppose that's a strong message to send to government.
Absolutely, Eamon. And I think a fair point here is that we're a small cog in that whole economic wheel. So as long as everybody does their bit, you know, and we'll do our bit, and we've proven that. We've created these jobs. I think that will happen. Another thing then will be that the industry also has seen a lot of new people come in now. So from a federation point of view, we've got to link all these people up. We've got to introduce them to each other again, give them the benefits of what we do as a federation. You know, and already we've lots of new members coming in, and we're delighted with that. But we're going to be doing a lot of road shows now, and we've president breakfasts lined up and everything. So we'll be telling them all a lot about what we do.
Excellent. Well, very best of luck, Stephen, for the next 2 years.
Thank you.
Be in touch.
Delighted. Thank you.